My Mug, episode 274 on Monday the 10th of February 2014. I am your host, Stephen Layton. It is good to be back, and welcome to In My Mug, and welcome to In My Mug News. So, the UKBC is happening this week. It's the regional heats, and in the past they've had like 7 regionals all over the country. But the first time ever, we're having a super heat, which is going to be at Birmingham. It's going to run Sunday till Wednesday. It's free to watch. So it's free. I guess you should come and watch. It's at Millennium Point in Birmingham City Centre. And on Sunday, we're having a Tamper Tantrum, which is a video conference type thing that you can come and watch industry people speak. But if you come on Wednesday, you can cheer on Dale. Dale, who is from Dale's Barista Facts. He's going to be competing. On Monday, we have a free screening of a film called Barista or Bust. No, Barista or Bust or something. Yes, Barista or Bust, which follows the 2010 UK Barista Champion through the finals and all the way to the World Championships. We're in London that year. That's going to start at 5 o'clock. And then, if you come a little bit earlier on the Monday at 3 p.m, you can come support me competing in the Brewers Cup in the closed service section. So there'll be lots going on, so you should definitely come watch that. So, speaking of Barista Championship finals, the finals are going to be held at London Coffee Festival, which is the first week in April. And I'm going to film a live in my mug there in the lab area. But I'm also going to be doing a few sessions as well that you can sign up to come and do with me. And because of that, I have a guest list. And you can be on my guest list. So if you want to come, see the UKBC finals, come see the live in my mug, kind of get involved, we can meet too, and we can sit down and drink coffee together. And the in my mug, you're going to be able to taste it with me. You'll be able to kind of meet Dale, who's going to be there as well, and a few other members of the team. So what you need to do to enter is send me a Vine of the week, send me a question for Dale, send me a screen grab. But I've decided this week I want it to be a Vine. So you send me a Vine. The Vine that wins will get you 2 free tickets for the finals day on my guest list. So get your Vine of the week into me. And we have a new monthly guest blend. It is up. It is Bold Street Coffee, who are based in Liverpool. Bold Street have been customers for a long time, great friends, have a great blend called Siempre. If you are a guest espresso subscriber, you will have got that. If you're not, you will not see it on In My Mug, although you may see the shop in the next couple of weeks. So, get there, get buying it. And that was the amazing Bold Street strutting UKBC winning Vine laden news. So now I'm back in familiar surroundings, and it is good to be back. It's time for us to get back to Focus On. And this month's Focus On is going to be Brazil, and in particular, Minas Gerais. So Minas Gerais is one of the 26 states of Brazil. It ranks as the 2nd most populous, the 3rd biggest gross domestic product, the 4th largest by area, and is a huge state and one of the biggest coffee growing regions as well, one of the best known. The state's capital, the largest city, is called Belo Horizonte, and is a major financial centre for Latin America, and is the 6th largest urban conurbation in Brazil. It is also one of the host cities for the World Cup this summer, and I know this as I will be in Belo for the England versus Costa Rica game in June. Yes, I know, I am very lucky. And I'm also going to be visiting this week's farm and the upcoming week's farm, so a little bit of a focus on my trip in June. And I'm not going to shut up for the next few months about me going to the World Cup. So, I'm very, very excited. And that is Minas Gerais, and that was this month's Focus On. It's not a month, is it, really? It's a week. This week's Focus On. But hey, you forgive me, I'm sure. So this week's farm is from Brazil, as you've just heard, and it's really appropriate for this England-Costa Rica game that's coming up because it's called Inglaterra, which of course translated from Portuguese means England. It's a World Cup exclusive coffee. It's actually a world exclusive coffee, but I put World Cup in there because it go to the World Cup. And only available on Has Been, and has only ever been available on Has Been. Something I'm very, very proud of. It's a farm we've supported for 7 years, and is owned by my good friend who has got me the ticket for England against Costa Rica. How many times am I going to mention it? Stephen Hurst, who is been a coffee friend of mine for 11, 12 years now, and has really helped Has Been in its kind of the way that we've grown. The farm used to be called Toca de Onca, which means hiding place of the small wildcat. But all of the locals in the area started to call it Inglaterra after Stephen bought it 8 years ago. The previous owners abandoned the farm, and really Stephen had to start from scratch with some really severe pruning, cutting back trees that he could keep, which the Acacia coffee that we also have on the website, we've done in my mugs on recently too. But this comes from a part that he's replanted, some regrowth. The varietals he has is Ikatu, which we don't see so much of because it comes from a lower part of the farm. That kind of tends to get blended away. We have the Acacia, and also this one, which is the Canario. The farm is located in the amazingly beautiful town of Pocos de Caldas, which is in the heartlands of Brazil, Minas Gerais state. Farm has an elevation of 950 metres to 1300 metres, which is actually really quite high for Brazil. And he's on the edge of an ancient super volcano. And you can, if you look at Google Earth, see the outline of that volcano. It's a really amazing place. 50% of the farm is actually the Atlantica forest. And that stays, and something that Stephen protects and looks after. And he's also planted in that area some eucalyptus trees that he's using to farm, that wants to kind of have a rolling program of, farming the trees and cutting them down and then replanting. When Stephen bought the farm, he decided that cut back the stuff that could be cut back, but plant some new varietals. And this Canario varietal is something you would not normally see planted. And there's a good reason for that. Its yield is low. It's very susceptible to pest and disease. Very, very open to wind, kind of blowing the cherry and the flower off. A cold snap will kill a lot of the crop. Like last year, 25% of the crop was lost because of a frost. And you kind of think, well, why the heck does he grow it then? Well, because every time Stephen's come across Canario, and you'll remember from the Cachoeira Canario, that it's a beautiful cup. And Stephen knows Gabrielle at Cachoeira. It's actually around about 20 miles away from Cachoeira. So he took some of this Canario stock and planted it, and this was the one varietal that he planted from new. And Stephen kind of thought that if he couldn't ask producers to plant that if he wasn't prepared to have a go himself and kind of brave up and man up. So that's what he did. So we should look at the figures of the farm. The farm is called Brazil Fazenda Inglaterra. It's owned by Stephen Hurst. The nearest city is Pocos de Caldas. It's in the country of Brazil. It's a farm size of 10 hectares, of which 5 is natural woodland and 5 is coffee growing. Has an altitude of 950 metres to 1300 metres. The varietal is Canario, and it is a pulped natural coffee. So it is time to whap you on pause and show you the wonderful new improved, I hope you enjoy the new improved, map bit.
And welcome to the map bit. I do like waving you all off. Off you go. And up to Google Earth. There we see the good old UK. And we're going across the Atlantic Ocean and we're going to Brazil. Brazil, that you see all the coastline it has, all of the topography, all of the amazing natural resources it has as a country. Really one of the emerging nations that's coming through and that's going to take over the world. But we should look at the facts. And Brazil is the longest country in the world at 2,800 miles from north to south via land. That is a geography fact. Well, we're just kind of pushing the boat here and getting all crazy. But we're looking at Minas Gerais, as I've just talked about in the Focus On. This is the state. And we're going down to Belo Horizonte, which basically means beautiful horizon in Portuguese. And is also one of the World Cup host cities. Have I mentioned about the World Cup? Maybe I should tell you about it. But I was trying to find the stadium and doing a really bad job of it. So I'm trying to zoom in and zoom out and cannot find it. So it's there there somewhere. But we should talk about coffee because that's why you're listening to me. And we should go to Fazenda, Inglaterra. Inglaterra, I mean, just look at all of these coffee trees here. All of this is the farm. And this is the natural woodland that I talked about in my mug this week. So you can see the trees, and then to the left you can see all of the coffee plants. It is right on the line of the volcanic region there. We can see that the highest point is Pico de Neblina, which is 2,994 metres above sea level. But you can actually see there a little bit of that whole volcanic region that Fazenda, Inglaterra is at the bottom of. And that was the funky map bit.
Hope you're enjoying those new map bits. I'm really kind of getting into them. I think they're really cool. So it is time for the Wheel of Death stroke discovery. Last time we did this we had Piccolo, which was interesting. I'm going to replace that with Chemex, because we should replace coffee for coffee ones, I think. So, Wheel of Death discovery. Where it goes, nobody knows. And of course everybody is very keen to find out and very interested. We have Presso. Seems we had Presso recently, but we have to go with what the Wheel of Death discovery says. We can't doctor these things, so Presso it is. I may do the longer drink with the Presso, I think, and still have an espresso, because I know this coffee is an amazing espresso. So I'm going to whap you on pause, going to go and get tasty, delicious drinks, and be back with you in just a second. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to dive straight into the espresso. This is where I'm looking forward to it the most. I know it is delicious in this, so... So Chris has pulled this really tight, and I kind of know why, because for me, there's lots of acidity. And if you let it go too long, you end up with like this really kind of almost sour pineapple. But by pulling it a little bit tighter, you highlight the chocolate. And it's not like normal chocolate, this is like chocolate spread. So it's sticky and it sticks to the roof of your mouth, and it's very viscous, and it's kind of really kind of like sludgy almost, you know, you're almost chewing it. But then that pineapple still punches through. But if you're going to pull it really tight, almost ristretto it, and it just makes that sweetness come through a little bit more. So great job there. Now into the milk. Now, I'm guessing with the milk drink that he's pulled it a little bit longer because the acidity really cuts through. And what starts to take over here is the pineapple. I don't find pineapple in a lot of coffees, but I always find it in this one. And it's delicious. It's a real zingy, zesty, bright, delicious, lovely cup. And in milk, the sweetness of the milk and the tartness of this pineapple really, really does work well. So, little tip for the espresso, a little bit tighter. For the milk drink, a little bit longer. So, with the Presso, what I did was I brewed what is a normal shot, and I've kind of guessed what you might call an Americano with it. But I really wanted the espresso from the espresso, that because I can still taste it and it's delicious. So let's go into here. And boom. It is acidity. It's bright, it's zesty, it's so clean. It is one of my, like, for a varietal, Canario just always gets me excited. It's complex while remaining sweet, and all it is, it's a variation of a bourbon. It's a mutation of a bourbon. So think like Pacas, think like Villasarci. This is like Brazil's Villasarci, if you like. But I just think it's an amazing varietal from a country that produces amazing coffee. A lot of awful coffee, a lot of terrible coffee, but an awful lot of delicious coffee as well. And you just have to look really hard for it. And I should be looking really hard for it come a few months' time when I'm at the World Cup again. So, time for Screen Grab of the Week. And this week's was sent in by Elizabeth Firth. Thank you, Elizabeth, for this. I have no idea why I'm karate chopping the screen at all. So Elizabeth, you know what to do. If you see this in the week of, in my mug being fresh and new, drop me an email and let me know your address and your t-shirt size, and I will send you the t-shirt that money cannot buy. And I think that's it. I think we're done for this week. I hope to see you at the UK Barista Championships in Birmingham at the Superheat. Send me in your Vines of the Week so you can win 2 tickets on my guest list for the Live in My Mug and to see the UKBC at London Coffee Festival. So, yeah, all that's left to say is, do remember, life is definitely too short for bad coffee.